Hello everyone, Parallel here, and welcome back to Star Trek Online. So, we've got a new ship bundle that just came out. This is the Miracle Worker Cruiser bundle, and there is a lot of new ships here. It's actually 9 new ships, 3 for each faction. And the one you're looking at right now on the screen is the tactical variant for the Federation Miracle Worker Cruiser. And I will just give a little pan around here while I'm describing this ship. And so what I'd like to do in this video is take a look at these ships, and in particular focus in on some of the unique features of these ships, because they do actually have some new innovations to offer, and then focus in on the ship visuals. What I'd like to do is actually kind of do a Kitbash, head over to the ship Tailor, and see what all the different combinations that are available for, if you do actually get the bundle, have all the appearances. We'll just put together some random configurations and see if we can come up with something cool looking. I will do it for each faction. I did buy the Mega Bundle, so I also can take a look at the Klingon and the Romulan ships as well. So we'll do that. Right now I'm just kind of panning around here so you can get a kind of an idea of what the ship looks like in space and what the size of it is. It's a pretty large ship, but not super overpowering. You can see here is a command cruiser over here. About the same size as a command cruiser. It does have more of the bulk on the underside there. Definitely larger than like a Sarthalon over here, but not super huge. So a large cruiser, but not super massive. Let's say it's definitely a very let's say unique looking ship. It's got its own style here. What can I say? It's a very controversial looking ship. Let's put it that way. This caused quite a stir on Reddit and on the official forums as well. A lot of passionate Star Trek fans voicing some opinions, and unfortunately, there was even a post from the developers to a little bit of a warning to avoid attacking the developers, which I wholeheartedly agree with. There's no reason to ever attack the developers for artistic decisions. But that said, I'm not a huge fan of the look myself. It does definitely diverge a little bit from what I like to see from Federation ships. It almost, from the top-down view, it actually looks pretty amazing. I really like the top-down profile. It's just when you look at the underside, it looks like they sort of tacked on an Excelsior with a really large neck on the underside of a more sleek, almost like a large, it almost looks like an escort type vessel, right? With the 4 nacelles. Kind of looks like what is it, not the Proteus, is it the Prometheus, I believe? It's kind of that similar, but just like a larger Prometheus. It has some redeeming features. It has this weird large neck with the kind of Excelsior looking underside that kind of bogs it down, makes it look a little bit too wide, especially from the this front view. But the look has grown on me a little bit as I've used the ship for a little while now, but still it is something you'll have to get used to if you do want to get these ships. So yeah, just panning around to get a good view of it here. It's definitely an acquired taste, let's put it that way. Now, it almost looks like if they had taken out this neck and just kind of moved up the secondary hull kind of right up underneath it, I think it almost looked like a really kind of a sleek cruiser, but still have that. I think they wanted to have some weight to it because it is, a Miracle Worker cruiser. It's supposed to be heavy cruiser, has a lot of hull strength, but it just doesn't quite work. So, but there it is. It is still has some very unique features with this ship. So let me pull up the user interface here, and let's actually get in here, because there are a few unique things about this ship, and it's kind of something that all the Miracle Worker ships have in common, and that is this. I'm trying to think of what they call this. This is their ship's unique special ability, and it is a, what do they call this? Innovation. That's what they call it. The innovation ship mechanic. And basically how it works is when you zone into a combat zone or into like sector space, you see this user interface comes up, and there's actually it'll have three indicators and then an actual ability. And what it means is you have to, and these indicators are random. It's either a science, engineering, or tactical ability. In this case, I had 3 engineering abilities. And basically, once you activate the proper sequence of bridge officer abilities, you get the special, the special ability gets activated. And I'll do a quick one here because I just have to activate 3 engineering abilities. Now, it is basically a lot of randomness here because each time you use it, these will re-randomize, and each time you use it, there'll be a short cooldown that it comes up, and then the actual ability that gets activated will also be randomized. So it is very, very random in nature, but it is actually easy to activate. And one thing I noticed, let me just quickly explain here, is that you don't have to use 3 engineering abilities in a row. You can actually use other abilities as long as you then use another engineering ability, and then it will fill up. So you could do like, let's do Oxtasif, and then you can see it activated 1. Now let's say I used a science ability. That's fine. See, it actually works. It doesn't like reset your progress or anything. It just means then I'll have to activate another engineering ability. Fine. Then I could do beam fire at will. You can do with them. You can use other abilities in between. It just means that the special ability here won't activate until you actually use 3 engineering abilities. So there we go, rebooting, and then the ability is activated. And there's a lockout there. It's a 30-second lockout. I don't even see the buff here. Did it already wear off? We'll go ahead and let it reboot, and you'll see that it comes up with a new randomized activation sequence. Oh, and you'll see this time it's 3 tactical, and this time I will get the Barclay maneuver. I didn't even know that was a thing. Photonic copy of your starship, which uses ramming speed on a nearby ship. Cool. So it's basically very random. Some of them can be fairly powerful. There's some hull healing ones. There's this one I've seen before. So there are quite a few options. It's basically just totally random. But, the fact that this doesn't reset when you use your ability, if you don't use the correct ability, the fact that you can just kind of do it in any order as soon as you've activated 3 tactical, this will trigger. It works okay. So let's do another one here.
Warning, ship is under attack.
I don't see my photonic decoy. Maybe it actually needs a target. But that's how the innovation mechanic works. It's very random, so kind of hard to depend on it in actual combat. But it is very easy to activate, and it's only got a 30-second cooldown, which is not bad. So it does trigger quite a bit. It's just you just never know what you're going to get. Is kind of the downside there. But that's not the only unique feature. Also, these ships come with a couple of things that have stepped up these ships in rank. I mean, some people are almost calling these like tier 6.5 or even tier 7, because the other unique feature these come with is a universal console slot, where you can put any console you want into this slot. That means these are actually 12 console vessels, which is almost like, like a tier 6.5 or maybe even a tier 7. I don't know if it's a tier 7. I think it would need another bridge officer seat to be a real tier 7, but these are, that's cutting it pretty close. I'd say at least like a tier 6.5 or a tier 6U, whatever you want to call it, because it does have 12 consoles here. That's very powerful. This unique universal console slot here is very, very powerful. That really gives you some flexibility in your build. Like, I put a science console in here, so this is almost like a 4-4-4 ship. But you could deck it out with more tactical. You could do whatever you want with this console slot. So very, very powerful. The other thing it comes with is a very handy that it gives, actually, the ship itself gives you plus 30 total power to all subsystems instead of the normal 20. So that's also quite powerful, especially in this day and age where the plasmatic leech has been nerfed significantly. That extra 10 power is certainly appreciated. Just kind of curious what I randomly got here. Instinctive rerouting, plus 50 all current power levels, plus 50 power levels for 10 seconds. Nice. So if I do 3 engineering abilities here, then you go boom. Doesn't increase the cap though, doesn't look like. Just your current power. But yeah, very nice. So yeah, some of these abilities are nice. It's just that random factor is a little bit annoying. So that's it. Those are the 3 main new features. You got the subsystem power bonus. You've got the very useful extra console slot that's universal, and you've got the innovation mechanics. So those are the 3 unique things. Let's go ahead and dock. Oh, and I did notice, I don't know, Cryptic, if anyone from Cryptic is watching, you can see it looks like the impulse engines are a little bit, at least the particle effects are a little bit off center from where the impulse engine should be. I'm not sure if you can see that, but a little bit off center there. But yeah, but there you go. Let's go ahead and dock and take a look at the ship, Tailor, and do some kit bashing. This should be interesting. I haven't had a chance to do really a full shakedown of these ships. I'm still kind of working on leveling them up. I haven't unlocked the traits yet, so I'm not really ready to do like a full ship build or guide or anything like that. Right now, I just want to, just give my overall general impressions, particularly on the visuals and what options are available there, and then the unique features of the ship itself. It is your standard 4-4 weapon configuration cruiser. Nothing else too remarkable there. Just that it comes with that unique console slot that puts it a step above. Now, I am looking forward to unlocking these traits. There's 2 traits in particular that seem to be very powerful. Let's go ahead and take a look over here. Yes, let's go down here. So on the tactical cruiser, the trait you're going to get is this redirecting arrays. Now, this sounds incredibly powerful. This is where when you activate your beam fire at will, if you receive any damage, it will increase the duration of your beam fire at will by 0.33 seconds, so basically a third of a second each time you get hit, and it can actually increase your duration up to 15 seconds total. And if you're taking, a decent amount of hits, I could see getting to that 15-second duration pretty easily. I haven't had a chance to test this, obviously. I don't have it unlocked, but this has the potential to be extremely powerful. That would mean instead of having a 50% uptime on your beam fire at will, this would give you like a 3/4, 75% uptime, because you'd be 15 seconds up and then 20 seconds, or then you'd have 5 seconds down. So that could be exceptionally powerful, incredibly powerful. So that might be a very worthwhile trait. Now this is the science variant. This one comes with a very odd trait. This one I'm thinking more maybe a niche trait, but basically it turns your boarding party, instead of you actually launching a shuttle at them, it just immediately applies the effect. Boarding party was buffed in Season 13. It's okay now, so this might be interesting to try. It also decreases the cooldown to 40 seconds instead of 60, so it seems interesting. Might be worthy of testing, but not the highest on my priority list. Ship traits are in such high demand, that it's hard to get rid of one for a marginal trait. And then finally, the engineering variant, or the operations variant of the cruiser. This also looks like a very interesting trait. This is stay at your post. This one grants whenever you activate an engineering or miracle worker bridge officer ability, you get, if your hull is above 50%, you get negative 10% recharge on your tactical abilities. If it's below 50%, you get minus 20% recharge time on your tactical abilities. And that can occur every 5 seconds. This is actually very much along the lines of like like your all hands on deck is basically what it seems like, except for all hands on deck gives you science reduction when you use tactical or command bridge officer abilities. So, but the fact that it's, you know, based on engineering abilities and it gives you tactical ability reduction, that's pretty good. I mean, that's an actual pretty solid way to reduce tactical ability cooldowns, I would think. So that one also, I think, has a little bit of potential. Yep, so those are the 3 traits. Not too bad. Not too bad. So, all right, so let's go over here and take a look at the customized ship. Now, anything else I want to talk about here? Just if you're curious, when I was out in space there, I was using the Mako shield, which of course will alter the effect. I'm going to go ahead and take this off for now. When we go to the ship Tailor, so you can actually see the default looks. Let's do that now. All right, so let's do a good Kitbash on this one here. All right, so here it is. I'm using Type 7 material, and this is the Tucker variant, the tactical one. And you can see you do get quite a few options if you buy the whole bundle. You know, if you have all 3 variants, you will see there's actually 3 options here for each section. So you got your saucer, hull, lower and upper nacelles, and lower and upper pylons. So let's take a look at these saucers. So here is the Tucker saucer. It's kind of the more triangular pointed shape, which I do actually like, the more sleeker version. You've got the Daystrom, which is a nice, you know, perfect circle if that's your thing. And then you have the Scott variant, which is the operations / engineering variant. Sort of a elongated oval, more along the lines of like a, I'm trying to think of what other ship has that. More like the Andromeda maybe kind of has that ovoid shape there. So the saucers all actually look quite good. The hull, now let's see at this one. Now, unfortunately, you can't really change the neck and the hull separately. Like when you change the hull, it just gives you the neck along with it. So those are the different hulls. You've got the Daystrom, which actually looks very Excelsior-like. You've got your Scott, which is just huge. It's got this large protrusion down below on the secondary hull. And then you've got, there's a very large deflector as well. And you've got the Tucker, which is what I was using, a little more sleek. As far as this ship goes, all of them still have that thick neck. Unfortunately, there's no option really to get rid of that. The lower and upper nacelles, you can adjust them individually, which is kind of cool. You can see here, the nacelles don't have a huge variety. You can see there's the Daystrom, just a slight change in the slight change in the lighting there. This one also has a slight change. The Scott has kind of these bars going across it that looks kind of unique. All very similar in size. This one almost looks like it has like a jet engine intake in the front, so that's kind of cool. And then the Tucker was the one that I was using. That's one there. I like that you can adjust them independently. That's pretty cool. And then we can do the pylons. Let's go back here so you can take a look at the pylons. So, okay, so we've got the Tucker, which is what I have, kind of has them coming, the two, you know, the pylons coming together. But you've got the, let's do the upper pylons. Let's take a look at the Daystrom. Also comes together. The Daystrom doesn't have the little sort of fins here that are on the Tucker. And then you've got the Scott, which actually makes them go up almost in a parallel configuration to the bottom. So if you don't want them to come together, you can actually go with that type of a configuration. Kind of cool. Yeah, so those are some of the different options available. I'm going to hit randomize a few times here, see what we can come up with. Oh yeah, let's take a look at the materials, of course. So we've got the veteran material on here. The upgrade Both of those look really nice. I like those materials. Type 7, which is what we've been looking at. Type 6. This seems really bright. Type 5. I actually kind of like the Type 5. Type 4 is the very dark one. If you wanted to make it look like more like one of the movies instead of the episodes. There's the Type 3. Type 2. And Type 1. Alright, so let's do some randomizes, and then we will switch over and take a look at some of the other faction ships. I do actually like those Scott nacelles. They're kind of growing on me. I might actually switch that up and go with the Scott nacelles. So definitely it's got a decent amount of options. I would say it's not... God, that one looks like a monster. Look at that thing. I think it's freaking huge. But definitely not the most options I've ever seen. I would say it's not quite up to... Because it doesn't have like a tier 5 you can also combine it with. I still think that like the Vesta package and the flagship package are still the best Kitbash options out there. Because you have not only all those tier 6 options, but you can combine them with the tier 5. So... I think those are still the... Oh, man. Yeah, that one... I'm not a huge fan of this round saucer, because look at this. The neck is almost the entire size of the saucer. It just kind of exaggerates kind of the feature that I don't like about this ship. But there you go. It's just a bunch of different randomizers here, but... This is still some good options, if not quite as spectacular as the flagships or the Vestas, because those have tier 5 variants. But it is what it is there, guys. It is very... yeah, I can't really say it's my favorite design, but it is serviceable. All right, so... That is the Federation ships. Now let's go and take a look at one of the other ones. Let's see here. How about Romulans next? Now, if you don't particularly like the look of the Federation ones, I am very pleased to say that the Romulan and Klingon ships look absolutely amazing. They really do. They they just have fantastic designs. So we'll go ahead and take a look here. Actually, let me quickly, I had some visuals on here as well. Let's go ahead and take those off before we do some kit bashing. And make sure the Iconian shield, we'll turn that off as well. And we'll take a look at these. Now just quickly, the differences between the factions are pretty much standard. The Federation ones have the highest shield modifier with a medium hull. When I say medium hull, they actually have 60,000 hull, which is a very strong hull. So that's those. The Klingon ones have a slightly lower shield modifier, but more hull. They have 62,000 hull, which makes them pretty damn near the top strength in the entire game as far as hull. I think the highest strength hull in the game is 65, I want to say, or 64 or 65. This is right underneath that, but it's right up there. I think it's also slightly under the obelisk. I don't remember what the obelisk has. Slightly more, I think 63 something. But yeah, 62,000 hull for the Klingon variant, and they of course get a standard cloak. The Romulans have the same hull as the Federation, lower shield modifier, but they get a battle cloak. And one thing to note that I was a little bit disappointed is that the Romulan version does not get the full cruiser commands like the other two, which is kind of unfortunate. It would have been nice to have a Romulan ship with the full cruiser commands. But anyway, here is the Romulan ship. This is the tactical variant. And it is very, very nice looking. Isn't this? Really looks slick. Very much a Romulan design. Almost to me looks like they took a Delenn Warbird and just kind of scaled it up to be a cruiser. I think this actually is a really cool deflector as well. So the deflector dish is a little more pronounced than it usually is in Romulan vessels, and I think that looks really cool. But I really like the design of the ship. I like how it has the I don't know, it almost looks like maybe a little bit of Hapax in there as well, as far as like the main hull and the bridge area. But yeah, I really like the design of the wings here. How it has the the green glow in there, and also has the hollowed out interior a little bit here. A lot of Romulans share that design choice where they have wings attaching to different spots and leaving an empty interior in the middle. Very, very nice looking ship. I really like the look of this one, especially the tactical variant. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other variants. Now, you unfortunately don't have quite as many options as you do on the Federation version. You don't have, you can't adjust the nacelles. There's not like 4 nacelles, so you can't adjust them individually, and it doesn't have the pylons. What you do have is the hull, utility pods, bridge, and wings. So we'll take a look at these. So this is the tactical variant. Let's take a look at some of the different... Let's start with the bridges. I'm not actually sure which variant these are. The Nigel. Let me see if I can take a look over here. Nigel is the operations variant. Okay. A little bit bulkier sort of bridge there. T-Bach is the tactical variant, and the Varel is the science. So let's take a look at the Varel. Ooh, I like that one as well. See, it has the sort of I don't know, if it almost looks like a crown or antenna coming off there. It's kind of cool looking. A little more pointed if you're going for that kind of design. I do like all 3 of these. They all look really cool. I do like the glowy bits on the T-Bach one. Let's take a look at what wing options we've got here. Oh yeah, so that's the big variance here between this and the other 2. So the tactical one has a more standard warbird look with the sort of swept out wings, whereas the other variants have these very sharply, pointed down wings. A very unique design, almost like a bird of prey, sort of. But yeah, both the other variants have it. This one I like a little better. This one is actually really cool. I like the design on the wings as well. And let's take a look at the actual... Oh, yeah, and that looks like that also changes the nacelles as well. So you can't do much about that. The hull... So if we switch over to the operations version, that's actually a little more sleek looking, isn't it? I like the deflector dish on that as well. I kind of like that. And then on the science variant, very similar, honestly. A little bit different, you can see there. Even a slightly smaller deflector dish and a little more sleek, but a little more pronounced as far as like vertically coming down from the hull. Okay, and then I'm not sure what are these utility pods? Oh, okay, they're right here on the wing. These little protrusions here, you can adjust those. Let's take a look at these. I think I actually like those a little bit better. And then the science ones. Science ones look like they're have a forked tip here. All right, so there is this. Let's take a look at some of the... I do really like the upgrade materials on Romulans. Very green, standard Romulan look with a good texture on them. We've also got the veteran Romulan, which is the all white looking. We've got Type 4. Pretty nice looking as well. Type 2 brown. The brown does look good on some particular ships. And it actually doesn't look too bad on this one either. I do like that on some particular ships. But the brown, this actually goes really well with the Iconian shield visuals. Type 2 regular. Man, this ship looks so good. I love this ship. And we got, of course, some Riemann variants. Did I do type 1? There's type 1 there. Also very nice looking. I really like how the glowy bits are integrated into the wing design there and into the bridge as well. Very nice looking. Take a look at some of the Riemann variants. Not bad at all. All right, let's do some randomizes. Those downswept wings, they're a little bit off-putting at first, but I don't mind them. I might try that. Just although that nacelles look so weird, they're so sharply swept up. It looks so odd. Not quite sure how I feel about that, but let's keep randomizing here. Nice, looks really good. Yeah, I just like the normal side-swept wings. Although these ones are not too bad. If I was going to choose one of the downswept wings, I'd probably choose the Varel variant. That's an interesting variant there. All right, so that is the Romulan variant. Now, I would want to actually show this in space just so you get an idea of what it looks like. And I'm going to put my... I always love the counter command visuals on Romulans because it goes right perfectly with the green theme, especially the deflector and the impulse drive, which gives you a nice green contrails and the green effect coming out of your deflector dish. So let's go ahead and head up into space so you can take a look at this. And you can see there with the counter command shield, it looks really, really good. It fits perfectly. Now this is actually, these are pretty sizable as well. I said it looks like a Delenn. I seem to be stuck here. It looks like a Delenn in shape, like a really, but it's just a really, really large one. I mean, you can see it's even almost the size of like a scimitar. Let me go down here to this scimitar. Oh, it left. But you can see it's definitely, you know, quite a bit bigger than a D-Deridex, and it's wow, these are actually quite huge. Look, this is the Federation variant. Wow, I didn't realize the Romulan ones are massive. They are almost like a Hapax size. Because yeah, here's the Federation Miracle Worker cruiser. This thing is much bigger. It's right up there with the size of like a scimitar and a lot more volume to it, actually more bulk to it. I wonder if that's intentional of how huge these things are. So yeah, that is this ship, and we'll just do a quick, it just looks really nice. Let's get rid of the UI here and just, yeah. You can see the contrails there from the counter command set. It looks fantastic. What a great looking ship. Yeah, definitely don't want to see one of these things decloaking on you. That would be pretty terrifying. Oh, there's a Hapax. Let's take a look at our size here. Okay, so it's bigger than a Hapax. Yeah. Definitely bigger than a Hapax, but I do think the bridge area still does have some similarities, but this one has a longer neck than a Hapax as well. But alright, so there is the Romulan variant. Let's go ahead and switch over finally to the Klingon. And let me just say, I think I saved the best for last here. I think the Klingons got the best version here. These ships look awesome. I'm a little bit partial because I actually really love Klingon cruisers. I've always thought they look great. The Vorcha, the Nagvar, they all look awesome. I've always loved it. Even, you know, the old D7s, D9 cruisers are amazing looking. I always did love them. But yeah, let's take a look at the Klingon cruisers here. So I am still in my tactical variant. Now, I like, on my Klingon cruisers, I prefer the Honor Guard shield, but I did take that off. Let me also disable visuals on the Iconian set. And let's go over here to the ship Tailor and take a look. Alright, so here we go. This is the tactical variant. And this is the Klothos. I did actually switch up the nacelles. Let me go ahead and put these back onto the Klothos. So this is a really cool looking cruiser. I really love this design. One interesting thing that they did with this design is it almost seems like hollow. There's like empty space, see-through areas here in both the, you know, the wings and in the neck. So it's a very, very interesting design. The bridge, I think, is a little bit overcomplicated, but still a very sleek design, very Klingon looking, really good looking. Love the impulse engines. Looks just like sort of like a bird of prey impulse engine there. Looks fantastic. It has this weird protrusion coming off of the bridge. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. But there you go. So this is the tactical variant. Let's go ahead and switch up the parts again, and you can take a look at all of them. I think the bridge is a little bit over-designed. It has these weird claw things coming out, but it does look pretty cool. So, I also think the nacelles, having the nacelles a little bit off level is kind of off-putting to me. That's why I actually changed it up for the Mur'Eq nacelles, which I think fit it a little bit better. Make it look, you know, off level. So I think this is actually kind of my preferred look for the tactical variant for sure. But as you can see, the Klingon ones have the fewest options here. We've only got 3 options: the saucer, hull, and the nacelles. But let's go ahead and take a look at the different, they call it saucer. It's just really the bridge area. All right, so let's take a look at the Antac, or the Antac. This is the science version. Pretty cool looking bridge. Not quite as complicated. A little bit narrow for my liking, but I do like how it has a little bit of verticality to it. And then we've got the Mur'Eq bridge, which is also pretty similar to the previous one, to the Antac bridge. So those are actually quite similar. You could just swap those out based on your liking. I do like all the bridges seem to hook up to the neck quite well, so there's not any mismatching there. Sometimes you get that on Klingon ships when you mix and match the neck and the bridge area just don't match up, but that doesn't seem to be a problem with these ships. All right, let's go ahead and switch up the hull now. So let's switch the Antac. Again, very cool looking hull. Man, the Klingon cruisers they just all look amazing in this case. These miracle worker ships, Klingons really just got the best version, I think. These look amazing. And let's take a look at the Mur'Eq. Also very cool looking. I wonder what this looks like. Let's switch up some of the nacelles here. Yeah, very cool looking design. So this is the Antac nacelle, and then you can put the Mur'Eq nacelle on here. So this is all 3 Mur'Eq. So you can see what this actually looks like. Very nice looking ship. The wings are a little less pronounced, not as you know, as most Klingon ships. It's like the very thick hull in this area, but it still has, you know, this familiar neck design with the nacelles on the side. This one, I think you could almost fit any of the nacelles on there. They all look pretty decent. Very nice looking ships. All right, let's go through some of the skins here. So we've got the veteran skin, which I think looks fantastic on these ships. We've got the upgrade skin, also looks quite snazzy. Type 4, if you're looking for the more dark red looking. Type 3 also looks good. I like Type 3 with some shields. Looks quite good. Type 2. And Type 1. And Type 0 has a little more texture to it. If you're looking for the more standard green. This looks a little bit red here because I do have sort of red color as my filling here, my pattern. All right, but there we go. Let's do some randomizes here. Ooh, I already like that one. That one looks pretty mean. That looks pretty freaking awesome, man. Wow, that's a pretty good randomize right there, I have to say. This looks good. It's just like all black, doesn't it? That looks amazing, black and red. I like it. So there's a couple more randomizes here. Not quite as much variation as the other ones, obviously, because there's just not as many options, but still, man, this looks... That one's all Clothos, but still looks good. Man, all of these with just having the dark pattern look awesome. All right, so let's cancel out. Let's take a look at this one in space. And I'm going to put my favorite shield on here. I'm going to put the Honor Guard shield back on. And let's head up into space, take a look. And let's see, so right down here is a flagship. Is that the... Oh, it went away. It was right around the same size, though. Pretty close to the size of the flagship. That was a... It looked like the Tier 5 version. Yeah. Let's go down here. Yeah, this is the Tier 6 flagship. It is bigger than a Nagvar, but right around the size of the flagship seems to be. But man, isn't this a good looking ship? Here's another one of them right here. Let's go ahead and hide the UI and do some beauty shots here. Yeah, I love me some Klingon cruisers. All the Klingon cruisers just look amazing. And I definitely think they got the best variants out of this bundle. With the Romulans as a close second, and the Federation as, unfortunately, in third place, I think, in this time, as far as visuals go. They just, I don't know, just that... The design with the large, thick neck and the... Excelsior bottom just didn't quite fit together for some reason. It just didn't look quite right. There's a Vorcha over there. Man, I want my tier 6 Vorcha. Where is that? I'd love to buy one of those. Vorcha is such a classic cruiser from the shows. But yeah, there we go, guys. That is the Klingon variant of the Miracle Worker cruisers. And I have to say, these seem to be pretty solid ships all around. You know, along with the special features they get. You know, with the inspiration mechanic, with the extra console slot, with the extra power to all subsystems. It's a very solid, I think they'll make a very, very solid cruiser. Very high hull strengths. These things could be monster tanks. This thing right here will have 62,000 hull base. That's really, really good. Now, in case anyone is wondering, why don't I close out and just quickly show you the details on the bundle here. So this is an actual, yeah, it's an actual 9-ship bundle. And I'm trying to find it here. The full bundle. It is actually, no, that's just the single. We're getting down to the bundles here. Here we go. Yep, so here is the full Miracle Worker bundle. It is currently 10,000 Zen, which is actually slightly less than the normal. Usually the 9-ship bundles are 12,000 Zen. But it doesn't say it's actually on sale, but I believe it is actually on sale for 10,000 because it's less than the typical bundle pack. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't actually say sale, so I have no idea how long that pricing will last. But so that's what you get. You get the 3 variants of each. Yeah, so there you go, guys. If you're at all interested, if you like, you know, the Kitbash options, you know, that's what you can get. The fact that 2 out of the 3 traits seem to be pretty decent, and the ships themselves are all, you know, very strong with, you know, total of 12 console slots with the extra power and all of that. It's definitely a worthy buy, worth considering if you're looking to, you know, if you're in the market for ships. You know, you could consider this as an option as some of the other, you know, tier, you know, the other mega bundles. Like, this is definitely up there as competitive with like the flagship bundle or the Vesta bundle. I would probably recommend this over like the command cruisers, although the command cruisers do give you all hands on deck as one of the traits as well. I need to do more testing on the 2 traits, you know, the increased duration on beamfire at will and the stay at your post trait. Those 2 I think have a lot of potential, but I really got to test them out first to know for sure and where I would recommend this as far as, you know, as far as how it compares to other ship bundles out there. But definitely a solid entry. And of course, I also want to explore a little bit more the Miracle Worker abilities themselves. I don't actually have an officer trained in Miracle Worker yet, but all of these ships do come with a commander, or sorry, commander rank engineering slot that actually is also engineer / Miracle Worker, so you can have all the way up to commander rank Miracle Worker abilities. And they all have, you know, slightly different seating based on the variant, right? So the engineering one will have more engineer slots, and the science one has a lieutenant commander science. They all have this lieutenant commander universal, which is nice. But then the ensign and the other lieutenant commander vary based on the variant. But all of them do also have one other seat that is also a combined Miracle Worker as well. So we need to explore those options as well. I'm not quite sure how the actual activatable bridge officer abilities are for Miracle Worker yet, but that is something, again, to test out and see how it actually works. But even without that, these are performing fairly well, just as I've been just kind of playing them a little bit as I'm ranking up the mastery, trying to get that to unlock the traits. Definitely some very positive impressions of the ship so far. And just one thing to keep in mind is that obviously these ships are already all at fleet level, just like all the other mega bundles. These ships come at fleet level, so their hull strength, shield strength, and their, of course, come with yeah, they come with all of the standard, fleet vessel improvements that they have over regular tier 6 ships. So just like, the best of flagship bundle, all the other tier bundles are always all at fleet level. So that's nice. So you don't have to actually buy a fleet variant or waste a fleet module on actually getting the fleet version of the ship. They are fleet version or fleet level out of the box. All right, guys, so that is the Miracle Worker Cruisers. That's just a Kitbash taking a look at all the visuals and just kind of general impressions of the ship, just very early on owning these. I do, of course, want to, play with them a bit more, learn their unique quirks and strengths and weaknesses before doing an actual full review on these. But for now, hopefully that will help. At least, if you're interested in getting these, you can take a look at the visuals and see how they are. In particular, the Federation ones, obviously one of the most controversial looking ships out there. So you'll have to, based on the initial look there that I was giving with the Federation ship, you have to see if you can, put up with that. Is it a Vokouv over there? Need a tier 6 one of those as well. But yeah, so you'll have to just kind of decide if you think the looks are for you. If you're a Romulan or a Klingon character, I'd say there's no question. The looks are amazing for both of those. So it's definitely well worth it if you like playing those factions. All right, guys. Well, that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.